Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Saturday to you. This is Rob the Mad Hatter from the biggest show in the world, the hashtag SBTVNation, talking to my boy, the evil genius of Major League Baseball, Mr. Dr. Dan on the other line. What's up, my brother?
Yo, what is up, kid? Just ready to crush it on this Saturday. Hey, gotta love when I call the guy trash and he throws a no-hitter. Hey, look, these things happen. What can I say?
Michael Fires. Michael Fires no-hitting the Dodgers with a 300.
Anybody who can say they saw that coming, and want to, Monday morning quarterback me can feel free, because I didn't see anybody hit me up when I gave that play out. That's not right.
Well, when you text me that, I told you to kind of be a little careful with it, brother. You know what I mean?
No, I know people hate the Dodgers, and we've been hating them all year, and this just shows why. I mean, look, the thing is, Houston has not been that good lately.
Right.
And even their offense, even yesterday, struggled a little bit. In that whole damn game, you're sitting there, and it's 2-0 pretty much the whole game, and at any point, you're just waiting. You're like, all right, third time through the order, they're going to get to him.
Yes.
I don't know what he's going to be like going forward, but, hey, I might have lost a game, but I turned a $10 casino play into $320, and,
nice.
Had Yoenis Cespedes go absolutely berserk for my Mets, and watched the Nasties go under 500 again, so not a bad day overall.
Yeah, definitely, man. The Washington Nationals, and, I can't believe a payroll of just under $300 million gets no hit against the Houston Astros, against Michael Fires, damn.
One thing if it was Keuchel.
Yeah, right, exactly. You would expect that a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But now with this series, they got their 1-2 punch of Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw coming on the mound versus the Houston Astros, brother. So what do you think about? What do you think about? We're gonna obviously break these down with our people, but. Well,
my one thing on that, without getting too deep into the individual games just yet, is that those guys are the ultimate competitors. And, pitcher, it's a fraternity. Pitchers, they're just close normally, and they want to always try and one-up. They see, those guys see a no-hitter, they want to try and go out there and throw a perfect game. So
Right, exactly.
Let's see what happens. I think... hey, if you're going to bet the Dodgers, I guess these are the 2 days to do it.
Yeah, right. Because outside of that 1-2 punch of Kershaw and Greinke, they are a sub-500 team, Dan. They're a sub-500 team. And on the road, they win about 43% of their games, dude. So
I'm telling you.
The LA Dodgers are, definitely breaking a lot of hearts these days. That's definitely for sure, man. So, Dan.
Yeah.
Let's talk some fantasy football, because you got a little something on your brain, a little something special that you're putting together for the audience, and definitely want to hear what you got popping, man. So let's jump right into it and see what you got to say as far as fantasy football is concerned. My boy, the evil genius, is putting something together for you guys. So what do you got, brother?
All right, guys. So for the last, 4, maybe even 5 years, I've been a commissioner of different fantasy football leagues. And I figure, what the hell, this year it was time to bring it right to the nation. So, look, I understand it's going to be a 10-man league. We're going to do it on ESPN. Flat out, it's a $275 buy-in. The payouts are going to, first place is going to get a G. Second place is going to get $750. Third place is going to get $500. And the division winners are each going to get $250 at the end of the season. The first 10 people that DM me, I will hit you back with an email address. You got to PayPal me, your buy-in by the end of the week. I'm going to keep the money in PayPal. I already have myself and my brother that are gonna play. And just so you know, especially since I got a family member involved, Rob is going to act as our independent arbitrator for trades and things like that. So the Hatter is going to step in and do that since he's not going to join us in the league due to scheduling and I think being in about another 1,000 leagues himself. But he's going to be our independent arbitrator to make sure everything's on the up and up. But, guys, we're going to do it through ESPN. It's an invite only. So the first, 8 people, and I know we already have 3 people that have hit me up. So get in quick, and I'll send you all the details. And guys, if you don't get in right now, if I see that there's 10 or more guys, I might not play in it, but I'll set up a secondary league as part of the nation and just run commissioner over it.
Oh, sweet, man.
And deal with everything.
Yeah, I'm not playing fantasy football in any leagues, Dan. So this will be my only job to do this one. Yep. So,
right.
Yeah,
and guys, hit me up, Dr. Dan Evil Genius, DM me on Twitter. You can also send me an email, drdanevilgenius@gmail.com, which is the email I'll be using for anything SBTV related. So, feel free. The first 10 guys are in.
All right. Sounds good, man. So, first place, as you alluded to earlier, is $1,000. 2 division winners get $250 apiece. Second place gets $750. Third place gets $500. That makes the pot equivalent to 10 times $275, which is $2,750. So you're not making a penny off it, Dan. You're paying all that out to the respective winners, and you're going to leave the money in the PayPal account and put it out there when people win and get their places.
Of course. And guys, this isn't for me. I don't want to make any money off this. I mean, obviously I want to beat your asses, and win like a man. But no, I don't. Look, I'm no casino. I'm not taking any percentage of anything. But hey, it is what it is.
All right, cool deal, Dan. So we got a couple of big guests coming on, man. We got my man Corona Picks. He's going to be calling at the 10:20 hour. And then we got my boy Danny B. Keeping it real with Danny B is going to call in. We're going to do a little round table with the MLBs and see what we got going on, man, because there is 15 games on the ticket today. So
just real quick right now, just because some people want to know who's already in this, and I got to look back through my Twitter, but I know I got my man B. Terrell, Clownman Swag's going to be joining us. I'm not sure about the Dream yet. We're going to talk to him when he comes on a little bit. Then you got myself, obviously, my brother, and then I know a couple other people hit me up through Twitter, so please just DM me again, guys.
All right, fantastic.
A million tweets since then.
Hey, maybe it'll be the start of something crazy. You know what I mean?
Man, if I need to set up 10 different leagues, I'll set up 10 leagues. There'll never be a cost. I don't care, man. I got, I love doing it. I love doing things for the nation. And hey, maybe even if we got 10 leagues, what we do is we take the winners of those 10 leagues and do something champion style for, maybe on like FanDuel or DraftKings, like a 1-week thing in the playoffs to crown an ultimate champion,
There you go.
The options are endless after this, man.
Absolutely.
I just want to have a good time and, it's dope. So
all right.
Done,
sounds good, man. Sounds good. Dan, do you have any preseason lines up yet?
I do have them up. So
can you just read them off for the audience and see what we got before we jump right into the MLBs?
Yeah. Look, guys, and just to preface this, there's a bunch of games going on tonight, and I know myself, I've been really tied up with the MLBs, and I know obviously the teams, but I don't know who are on these 96, 100-man rosters that are playing. So right now we got Dolphins, Panthers -1 for the Dolphins.
Yep.
Right now we got Ravens at Eagles, Eagles -4. Bears at Colts, Colts -3. Pats at Saints, Saints -2. Jags at Giants, Giants -3. Broncos at Texans, Texans -2.5. Raiders at Vikings, Vikings -4.5. The Chargers and the Cardinals are at the Cardinals -2.5.
All right, man. So you got a
no
lot
feeling
of
and no opinion. don't do preseason football.
Nah, man, no. But hey, it is what it is, and we will go from there, man. So, Dan, I say we start with the MLB, see what we got going on, and then allow the red carpet to roll out for my boy Corona Picks after that, and then we'll have the conversation with him. How about that? All right, man. So, because, guys, you know what? I am like Dr. Dan. I am heavily invested in baseball right now, and I am not looking at the preseason NFL. Obviously, I'm watching the games here and there, but I'm not doing as much as our boy The Dream is doing homework, man. So, all right. So, Dan, 1:05 start. We got an early game today. It's Cleveland who has actually won the first 2 games of this series in the New York Yankees, man. You know something, Dan? I did tell everybody to be careful with this. I did not like the Yankees in the spot whatsoever. And The Dream, him and I had that conversation, and he was actually, I think I might have kept him off it as well, dude. What's going on with the Cleveland Indians and New York Yankees here?
Part of me thinks that the Yankees used up their juice in Toronto.
Yep.
I can't really place it. I just have no real faith in that team. And part of me thinks if they do get into the playoffs, which I still think they should, they're like that type of team that they need to have almost like a little bit extra adrenaline for it to mean something, and maybe like an August series against Cleveland isn't doing it.
Right.
But this is not, look, Severino's been really good, but he's 0-2 with a 3.18. You got Salazar starting for the Indians, 11-6 with a 3.16. God, man, I don't know about this.
It's called stay away, Dan.
I think it is. I think it is. The way that the Yankees have been playing ball lately leaves nothing that you would want. Cleveland's not that good.
I know, man, but they are, believe it or not. There are 7 teams in Major League Baseball that are over 500 on the road, and the Cleveland Indians are one of them, man. They're 2 games over. They're either 2 or 3 games over 500. So something to take a look at, Dan, as far as that is concerned. Luis Severino, I don't know if I feel comfortable taking them. That's why the Yankees are only minus 135. And, when you look at Salazar here, 11-6 with a 3.16 ERA, Dan.
Yeah.
Now, are the books favoring Cleveland because of their pitching rotation? Because, they're only as bad as their record is, they're 7 games under, and you can only find them at like 120-1 right now, Dan. Where there's other teams that are like borderline 500 that are, even in the AL, that are like, 200-1.
I think there was a lot of preseason money on the Indians.
Okay.
A lot of people picked them to go to the World Series.
That makes sense then. Okay.
A lot of people picked them to go to the World Series, and now, like, the AL, the wild card especially, it's such a crapshoot.
Right.
What if they go on, and I guess the books are sitting there saying that a lot of people thought they were going to be a really good team. What if all of a sudden they go on a 10-game winning streak?
That goes for anybody in the AL.
Well, right. They're not going to win the division, obviously, but they go on a 10-game winning streak. That would probably put them like right in the first wild card spot.
Yep.
Depending on what the other teams do, obviously. But, it's getting late early for them because, even though you're 5 back, you got to look at the other teams that you got to jump to get there.
Yes.
So, I don't know, man. I think you stay away from this game today. I don't think the Yankees have any reason being minus 130 today.
Okay.
But I still think you stay away.
I think I agree with you on that, Dan. I don't know if the Yankees get swept in their building, though, Dan.
Dude, I didn't think they would lose 2 out of 3 in their building to the Indians.
I know. Well, you know what? We'll see what happens with that, but I am going to stay far away from that game, guys. And I pretty much recommend that you do the same. But if you think that the Yankees will not get swept and you are a chaser, then that's probably a game that's right up your alley. The next one we have on a ticket while we wait for our guests to come in, because we got Corona Picks and Danny B going to be calling in. We got the Atlanta Braves coming into the Chicago Cubs. And I was able to jump on the Cubs yesterday, cash that early money, only to give it back with the Baltimore Orioles and the Washington Nationals, Dan. Nasty. But Atlanta's got Williams Perez versus Chicago's Dan Herron. Dude, Dan Herron minus 240, Dan? Am I reading this correct?
I saw that last night, and, watching that no-hitter, and then, between drinking, knowing that I'm getting my ass kicked gambling, and then between the Mets crushing, I was doing a little drinking last night, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the lines for it, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, what is going on? How is Dan Herron given that, especially at that ballpark?
Yep.
I almost feel like I gotta take the Braves, like as a science experiment play. Perez is 4-4 with a 4.34, and what's funny is, Herron's 8-8 with a 3.63. So you got two 500 pitchers. One guy's minus 240, and the other guy's plus 195.
All right, sounds good, man. I'm looking at this. I
think you just stay away.
Yeah, man, that is some serious juice.
The over 9 looks really good.
Over 9, huh?
Good. Herron in his last 3 starts has given up a 3 spot in each start, and he's not gone past the 5th inning.
Got it.
In his last 7, he's 2-3 with a 4.38, and then Perez. Last 3 starts, he gave up a 5 spot, a 2 spot, and a 4 spot. And on the road, he's been worse. So, in his last 7, 2-4 with a 5.66. I'm going to just ride the over 9 here.
That's a lot of runs. Do I have my boy, the Dream, on the line today?
Son, I came in, I hear Dizzle talking about baseball, and I just want to hang up. Good morning, guys. What's going on?
What's up?
Hey, listen, I didn't want to steal any of the steam from the show this morning, but I just got to do this solid because I come from, I'm raised, you guys, if somebody does you a favor, you got to call back and do them a favor. You guys know that we do the Houston thing on Friday night. We do it late night. We go on Houston's air, and we try to rock Houston as much as possible. Anyway, the first thing I want to do is I need to thank Direct Sport Solution one more time for making that happen, guys, and I really appreciate that from him. Okay. So we go on last night on Houston Air, and the host of the show, Ralph, is asking me for a preseason pick. Now, you guys know we don't do preseason football. I hate it. I'm all for not betting for it. I can't stand it. However, Ralph asked for preseason football. I get on my cell phone. I quickly text my boy Kid Picks. I ask him, can I have a pick for tonight? Who do you like? He gives me the Jets. The Jets win. I would never in a million years take New York Jets under any circumstances. So I had to get up this morning. I had to call in. Had to send a big thank you to Direct Sports Solution. Also a big thank you to the Kid Picks. I'm not telling you guys to go use them. I'm not telling you guys to go use Direct Sports Solutions either. Obviously, like we always say, give them a call. Check them out for yourselves. See how they are. But I just got to just give these two people, these two guys that have worked with us and helped us out, I got to give them a big ups for all their help and their support, because that was truly just cool and great on both of their parts. So I just want to just thank them guys, and I'll let you back to your regular show, man.
All right, sounds good. Well, Dream, did you hear the news that Dr. Dan is putting together a fantasy league? 10 teams, $275 buy-in, and first place is $1,000, second place $750, third place $500, and the 2 division winners get $250 apiece. He's already got some people DMing him and getting ready to do it. He's doing the SBTVNation. He's taking the money by PayPal, going to leave it in PayPal, and then just pay accordingly at the end of the season. So the Kid Picks already said he wants to get a team formed with you and combine with you. I don't know. Are you interested in joining that?
We'll have to talk about it a little later. You caught me off the cuff. I haven't even thought about it, dude. I'm trying to. Last night was insane because me and Hatter were together.
You take your time.
Yeah, me and Hatter were together.
I think the Dream is afraid of the evil genius. I think that's what's going on.
Never that. Hey, I got to get out of here, guys. I just want to thank them. But, Dan, I'm going to keep it in mind. I'll be on with you guys soon because we got, not next weekend, but the following weekend. I'm back on Saturdays and Sundays. So we'll kick it then, fellas.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Have a good day. Thank you, guys. Have a good show, guys.
All right.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace.
All right, Dan. I think you got him a little shook, Dan.
Hey, I think after what happened last year for our SBTV 500, where I had Ohio State minus 21 in the championship game, I think he's a little scared.
Yes,
but it happened.
Yes,
it happened.
Big ups to every single person that's out there retweeting our show. We got 808 Niner Nation hashtag SBTV. Got my boy Tommy King out there. I got JDH24 hashtag SBTV. I've got, let's see who else, man. A lot of people today, man. Skippy Betts. I've got Yippa82, Direct Sports Solution. Jim Rohn is a juice. JC hashtag SBTVNation. Got my man Marlon. I got MG86. Kiambu. I got Christos Clown Man Swag. I've got Fast Eddie is out there. Sin City Maverick. What's going on? Assman Mike White. I love that. C. Rodriguez Jr. OJFB. I've got the average Joe Punter all the way in Australia, sitting there probably sipping some shots at Cousin Jack's all the way in Australia. Got AZ Wildcat 83 ready to rock and roll with some horses. Sin City Maverick, Rich Comac, Ciroc King J, Spot Bet, LA WizKid, and my boy Ben Rowe. What's up? Good morning to you. All right, Dan. So, Dan Herron, we are not giving 240 juice. We are not going to do a run line.
Take the over, though.
You're going to take over 9. Dude,
Dude, I'm saying Willie and day game in Wrigley, and I'm about to look up what the wind is doing there, but dude, I'm telling you, that over 9 is going to get smashed, I think.
Okay, man. Okay. I mean, even with Dan Herron with a sub-4 ERA, you're feeling the over. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, look at what he's done lately. I think the Cubs probably do win here and win pretty big. But, dude, I just can't. I mean, I can't. At minus 240, that's just crazy.
All right. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. So, as I wait for my boy to call, let's just look at the trends here. Over is going over in 4 of the last 6 Atlanta games on the road and 6 of the last 8 Chicago Cubs games, Dan. So, we'll see what ends up happening with that. And I wish you the best of luck going into this next matchup. We have San Francisco at the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Madison Bumgarner, man, did his thing yesterday. He did let up a few runs right out the gate, though, Dan. But for the most part, I mean, he's out there hitting home runs and doing his thing. I mean, guy's a serious athlete.
Yeah. I mean, when you pinch hit with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th down a run, I guess. I mean, even though I think that's absolutely insane, I don't know if Coach was trying to send a message there to the rest of his bench, but I mean, that was kind of insane. But I mean, look, I really do like. Oh wait, no, Bumgarner is not slated right now.
No, he pitched yesterday, bro.
He pitched yesterday. Sorry,
yeah.
He won. Yeah, so you have Leak tonight.
Yes.
Versus Cole.
Yeah.
This is a tough one for me.
I know.
This is tough because Cole has been. I mean, he's been so good all year. I mean, 14-7 with a 2.61, but the Giants are just. There's something there right now. I don't know if they smell the blood in that Pacific Coast waters that's called the Dodgers. But Mike Leake has been really good, especially on the road. Remember, 2 starts ago, he shut out the Cardinals over 8 innings in St. Louis, only gave them 4 hits. And then at Texas, his last start, he went 6 1/3, 8 hits, but only 2 earned. So, Leake has been really good on the road. And Garrett Cole, remember, his last 2 home starts, his last 3 starts in general, he's gotten bombed. I mean, 3 earned at home against the Dodgers over 6 innings. His last start was against Arizona. And we all know Arizona is a much worse team on the road. He still only went 6 2/3, gave up 9 hits, 4 earned runs.
Gotcha.
So I kind of like the Giants here, honestly. At plus 150. I'm going to go with the guy that's been better lately and a team that's been playing so well on the road.
What do you think of the Giants? You think that they will catch that division and knock the Dodgers out of the playoffs, dude?
I give it a week.
Really?
I give it a week.
Wow.
They're a game and a half back right now. I know you have. Well, and here's the thing: you can tell the Dodgers are kind of panicked too. I mean, they went to a 4-man rotation.
Yeah, right.
They went to a 4-man rotation because they know that if they were in a 5-man rotation, as you said, hey, they're under 500 after Kershaw and Greinke.
Right.
So, they realize that they're pretty screwed. They tried to plug a hole with Latos, which was a joke, and now I think they realize that.
Yep.
So I think the Dodgers are kind of panicking.
I think you're right, Dan. I think Mattingly's panicking a little bit. But looking at what my boy Marlon's saying, he's saying the Giants are doing their late season run as always. And Leak is 2-0 with a 1.56 ERA and 5 starts against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And he's 3-0 in the last 7 when facing the Pittsburgh Pirates with a 2.11 ERA. So,
yeah. I mean, honestly, the way that I'm seeing it right now, guys, the way that I see it shaping up is I obviously think the Cardinals are still pretty much a lock to win their division. I mean, then you have, Pittsburgh and Chicago will almost, I think, definitely make the wild card there in the National League. Then you'll have, the Mets will play the Giants, and, the Cardinals will play the winner of the wild card game.
Well, yep, got it. And
that's the way I see it for the NL. I mean, the AL is a lot more convoluted.
Very complicated in the AL, man, that's for sure. I mean, myself and the Dream were talking about it yesterday, how the Dodgers have the 1-2 punch of Greinke and Kershaw. If they make the playoffs, well, they can possibly go up 2-0 and then, in a series. But then you got 2 more games, and then all of a sudden you get, Greinke and Kershaw again. But if you're facing DeGrom and Harvey, that's a 1-2 punch that can just definitely knock you right out of the playoffs. And you know what? Speaking of knocking things, go ahead.
The thing is, too, if the Dodgers, I feel like even if they make the playoffs, like you said, and they win that division, that team is such a head case team that if they lose either one of the Greinke or Kershaw starts, like you said, if they, Harvey and DeGrom, and then you would put Syndergaard as your home starter right now if you're the Mets. He has like a 1.75 at home. If they lose one of the games that Greinke or Kershaw pitches, they're done. They're done. The series is over.
Exactly. Do I have my first guest on the line today, Mr. Corona Picks?
Hey, buddy. Sorry I'm running a little behind today. Jeez.
No problem, man. What's going on all the way in Canada, man? How you doing today?
Hey, no, I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're good, man. We're good. We're watching this playoff races happen in the AL and NL as far as MLB is concerned, man. How's MLB been treating you this year, brother?
It's been okay. I mean, of course, I'd always like to be doing better, but I haven't updated my exact record in about a week. But I think I'm around the 20-unit mark in the positive. So, just kind of making my way. So, no, it's been good. Overall, it's been a lot of fun. Yep, exactly, man.
That's right, man. Well, you know what? I am, as far as the game stuff, I am not in the positive. I'm actually in the negative. I started off so hot, fell off for like 2 months, and just started grinding it back, man. So, I'm really looking forward to the end of October as far as the futures are concerned because I got a lot of really good teams to emerge and win the World Series. So, I'm looking forward to getting it all back and then, making baseball profitable at the end of the day. So, dude, we went over a couple of games so far, man. We went over the earliest ones where you got we went over the first 3. We went over Cleveland, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, and San Francisco, Pittsburgh. What games are you looking at in particular? What we're going to do is we're going to hear your breakdown. I'm going to bring Danny B on in a couple of minutes. We're going to have a little roundtable as we talk about some key matchups here, brother. What do you got on your radar?
Oh, man. Let's see here. I like the Cubs. Everything lines up there, but obviously a lot of juice. So
right.
I might see what I can do -1 there, or maybe even the run line. Let's see here. I like the Rangers today.
I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, Dan's on the over in that game, over 9.
Yeah, I like the over there. The only thing I worry about a bit is if the Braves are going to do anything. I mean, they're on the road. They just look like garbage all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
the
could
one
almost-
scary thing. I'm just hoping for the Wrigley Field, daytime effect.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. Let's see here. I actually like the D-backs a little bit. I mean, they've been playing great lately, and backing them the last couple of weeks has been, really, really money. Actually, about 2 weeks ago, I posted on Twitter that the D-backs were kind of my dark horse for making the playoffs, and man, they look good. So I don't mind them. I like the Royals. I really like the Royals Red Sox over 9 today. I think that's a pretty good
I
one.
like
Royals,
that one
actually,
a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
that
Royals Red Sox. Let's actually get into that. So,
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
For the Royals, we have Yordany Ventura. For the Red Sox, we have Barnes. Right now, Yordany is 7-7 with a 4.82, and Barnes is 3-3 with a 6.59. I'm with you, brother. I've loved the overs in the Red Sox home games, especially lately. I think Ventura gets a little bit lit up tonight, but I think Barnes gets. I think he gets smashed.
Barnes with a 2. What do you have for an ERA for Barnes? I got 10 point.
6.59.
I don't know why I'm missing a game here.
10.45.
I'm seeing 10.80.
His last 7 games, he's only made 1 start, and the rest have been bullpen appearances. But over 10 innings, he's given up 15 hits, 12 earned runs, 6 walks. His WHIP is 203.
Wow.
Yeah,
man.
and I hate to hate on this guy because he's a hometown guy. He's from Danbury, Connecticut, which, for those you don't know, my high school team actually played. He was a little behind me. Obviously, he's like 6 years younger than me, but I've actually seen this dude play. So I feel bad, but he's gonna get lit up again.
All right, sounds good. So Corona picks, you are on the over as well as Dan in that over 9 runs.
Yeah, I mean, Red Sox have been scoring great at home.
Yeah.
And Ventura looks, he looks dicey. This whole year he's looked pretty dicey. He's been giving up lots of runs.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like that they set the line at 9. I'm always a little bit, it sounds stupid, but I would be leery if they set the line at, say, 8 or something. But, they're trying to, it looks to me like they're trying to get equal action either side. I mean, they're trying to make it a little bit difficult at least to bet the over. So, I could see this game being 8-7 or something like that.
Okay.
I definitely hear you, and I see it exactly the same way. And the thing also with Ventura is you don't know if he's going to lose his cool, and which is a big problem with him. He doesn't go deep into games a lot. And look, the Royals bullpen, which has normally been obviously
Guys, without further ado, I'm bringing in my man, my boy, Mr. Danny B. Keeping it real with Danny B. What's up, brother?
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me this morning.
Oh, absolutely,
up,
my man. Absolutely.
Hey,
So,
Dan, hey, everybody. I don't know everybody on the show right now. I know you, Rob. I know the first time I spoke to Dan now. Dan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
and I got my man Corona Picks, who has been with us. He was actually on one of our first shows, brother.
Fantastic. You guys have come a long way, man. I remember you contacted me when you just got started, and you told me your vision, and here you guys are, about 2 years later, and my God, you're knocking it dead, guys.
Thank
Good
you.
for you.
Yeah, year and a half later, man. So, guys, just real quick, I'd like to hear the resumes from both everybody. Dan, I'm sorry, Corona. I'm sorry, Danny B. As far as your resume, real quick in a 2-minute nutshell, tell everybody how dope you are, please. Let everybody know what you got going on.
Would you say what type of dope I'm on?
What?
Come on. No, I've been doing this a long time. Started handicapping in '94. Before that, I worked for the offshore sports books. Worked for bookmakers in the early '80s. Started gambling in the mid-'70s as a kid. Kind of grew up around the business. Took my lumps like most guys, and you kind of learn the hard way. And experience definitely helps. It's all about composure, having the money, which fortunately for me I do. But, you know, I've been around the block more than once. You know, I've been in the business a long time, worked for some of the bigger names, some of the creeps in the business as well. So I've seen this business change from newspaper ads to television, radio, now podcast and internet stuff.
All right, cool deal, man. Cool deal. And Corona picks, real quick, just let everybody know what your little resume is there. I'm sure you're banging as well, kid. What you got?
Never officially worked for any kind of books or anything, but I mean, I'm in my late 30s. I've been gambling since I was 16, and like he said, I mean, I've basically seen it all. I can remember waiting Thursday mornings for one of the major papers to come out with the Vegas lines. To now, I mean, you know, we got everything right at our fingertips. I mean, I can sit in my car on my lunch hour and look up every piece of information I've ever wanted. So. Like he said again, I mean, in my 20s, I took my lumps. I learned the hard way how not to sports gamble. And then one day I kind of woke up and decided that if I was going to do this, I was going to kind of put my passion into it and figure out a way to win.
Yes.
And that's what I did.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, I've been doing it that way now for about 5 years. And, you know, I try to learn something new every day.
All right, perfect.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about, learning. That's the good thing about social media and everything. You get a chance to talk to people, direct message. So we have access to a lot of tools these days. You know, myself, I liked it the way it was, to be honest with you. I like the old school approach to this, you know. Now everybody's an expert, everybody's this and that, and this is not easy stuff, you know, and you got guys that win a couple of games and they think they're on top of the world. It's not about 1 or 2 games. It's what you do throughout the year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, guys. So, Dan, we were going through the Boston and Kansas City game. These two guys like the over. What's your thoughts on the Boston Red Sox and Kansas City Royals today?
Well, last night, obviously, Kansas City got lumped up. You know, anytime you're in Boston, I always like the overs up there, but you know, if I'm going to put a lean on this, I would say take the shot at the Royals. I don't like laying more than 130 on the road, though, but they're like 140, 144 right now.
What do we
got?
So
if you're asking me who I would play in that game, if I was to play, I personally like the Dodgers to bounce back. That's going to be a great matchup tonight, Greinke and what's his mug, Casimir. But I would take a shot at the Royals. A little high at 144, but I would definitely take the Royals if you're asking me who I would play in that game.
What do you think of the side being over of 9? What do you think of the total there?
I would always go over up there. I love that park. That is a beautiful place. Have you been up there? I'm sure you guys have.
I'm sure. Which one of you? I haven't personally. Dan, you have, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're Dan. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I've been up there a couple times. I mean, it's just living history, and it's a great ballpark, especially when it's, you know, going crazy. And I know they've obviously had a down year, but that's why I love the over, man. I mean, that ballpark, it's just like a bandbox.
It is. It's fun. It's a fun place to watch a game. You know, I always like overs anyway. I think if 90% of my totals are always overs. I can't stand unders. Even if it's the right move, I avoid them. You know, I'll play an under periodically. You know, everybody liked the under in the Colorado game that I spoke to yesterday. Look what happened. What was it, like 11-9, 13-9 or something like that?
I don't know who would have thought the under was coming up in that game.
Yeah, I mean, Cespedes almost hit it himself.
That park, you know, I can blow the ball out of the park there. But, you know, the Angels are...
the over by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the total there? I mean, when you got totals at 11 and a half, I mean, I don't think I've seen anything higher than an 11.5, 12, but what do we got today? What's the total up there today? How about those Mets? How about my Metties? 10.5 today.
Hey,
opened up at 11.
You and me both.
What's that?
Those are my boys.
The Metties?
Of course.
All right, there we go. Hey, I grew up a Met fan. You know, I like the Yanks too. I grew up a Met fan. I met Bud Harrelson. If you remember Buddy Harrelson, their old shortstop. I was a kid. I met him at a Christmas party, and I was automatically drawn to the Mets. And I used to take the subway back in the 70s on the bus, jump on the bus in Jersey to Manhattan, and then take the 8th Avenue subway and get off at Willard's Plaza. Good times. We did it for next to nothing, though.
You're a little
I'm 53. Yeah, I'm 53.
My dad's a few years older than you, but he grew up in Jamaica Estates and Flushing, so it's just natural. But
back in the day, you get in there for $1.50 grandstand tickets, and you wait to the third inning. You give the usher $3. You're sitting behind the dugout.
Nice.
Back then, in the mid '70s, the Mets were awful. After they were in the World Series in '73, lost to Oakland, and then they fell apart until the early '80s. I think '82 they started playing good ball. But I'm waiting, man. I've been waiting since '86. Actually, I'm looking at a picture directly in front of me, behind the bag. Mookie Wilson, Buckner. I remember that like it was yesterday.
You're lucky though. I was 2 years old in '86, so I have no recollection of it.
Dude, I watched that game. I remember it like yesterday. I was banged up. I was in the Sheridan Meadowlands, right across from the Meadowlands. I was on the phone with my cousin saying, "Oh well, they had a great year. It's a shame." And we're like, "Oh my God, Gary Carter gets a hit. This guy gets a hit." And next thing you know, Mookie Wilson behind the bag, and yes, there will be a Game 7. Vince Scully, who's still at it today. But yeah, I grew up around baseball. Baseball's my passion, man. I like all sports, but I can watch a baseball game before any other game. I like my football, of course, but I can watch and dissect every pitch of a game. I just love baseball.
Cool deal. All right, guys. So Corona picks. What we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to basically call on each person to talk as we break down these respective games, and I'll kind of rotate you guys a little bit. Let's talk about the nasty L.A. Dodgers with Zach Greinke on the mound going into the Houston Astros with Scotty Kazmir. Corona picks. Talk to me about this particular matchup. L.A. minus 125, under/over of 7. I don't remember seeing Zach Greinke at anything less than minus 200 like in months, or for this year for that matter. Corona picks. What's your thoughts on that?
This is kind of a tough one. I mean, Greinke, obviously, no one's going to argue he's not amazing, but Astros have a crazy home record. Dodgers are always a little dicey on the road, and the Dodgers don't look like the Dodgers this year. I mean, I watch a lot of Dodgers games, and the only reason they're who they are is because they got the two best pitchers in the league. So, I don't know. I like the under in this game, but I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb here, and I'm going to say that Houston takes this one down. Kazmir's pitching great, and I don't know. I think it's going to be like a 3-1 game. I do like the under in this game. It's under 7, which seems a little bit high. I'm surprised they didn't bring it in at 6.5, but I like the under in this game.
All right, sounds good. Dr. Dan, the evil genius, what's your thoughts on this particular matchup?
I mean, I like the Dodgers, but I'm going to stay away from this game. There's something that's telling me that it's going to actually go over the 7 runs, but I'm just not going to touch it.
All right, sounds good. Danny B. Houston Astros versus...
Danny B is going to come at you and say the Dodgers snapped a 3-game skid. I like the Dodgers. If I'm playing the total, I'm going to be rooting for runs, but I'm going to side out with the Dodgers. Actually, that was one of our free picks today on a radio show that we currently have airing right now. So I would definitely take the Dodgers. I sent you a text there. I like the Dodgers today. Also, those Nationals are due a little high today. I don't know if you want to discuss that game and what's wrong with those Nationals.
Yeah,
but as a Mets fan, I'm glad they're struggling.
Yeah, so is the evil genius over there. But
I like it. Dr. Evil Dan.
Danny B, I think I agree with you on the Dodgers getting the job done today. I'm looking at it. I mean, whenever you get Zach Greinke minus under 150 or less, you have got to take them. And I mean, especially coming after getting no hit last night versus Michael Fyers, I think the LA Dodgers
with the
put it together.
Not for nothing, with the pine tar.
Mr. Dr. Dan, I think I have to do it, bro. I think I have to take the Dodgers today.
I mean, at minus 122, I almost feel like you have to, but this might be that game where, Greinke's due to get a little smashed up. I don't know.
Kazmir too. So the over might be a good. Yeah, the over might be a good value play.
Got it.
I like it, but I got bit last night with that Fyers no hitter. I thought the Dodgers were going to win last night. But I do have a lean on them, but right now I'm just going to stay away from them. Who knows? Maybe at 7 o'clock that might change.
All right,
yeah,
so
plenty of time. Line's going to move. It's down to 120 right now.
Let's go into the New York Metropolitans coming into the Colorado Rockies after Cespedes basically almost got the over himself yesterday.
Yeah. 7 ribbies.
Yes, I'm going to start with Dr. Dan, the evil genius. Your Metropolitans are in first place over the woeful Washington Nationals. So what's your thoughts on your Metropolitans today, man? You think they're going to continue their run here or what?
You know, I think the bats, obviously, especially in that mile-high air, just, really getting the job done. And, of course, Cespedes is on fire. I'm not going to take this game. I like the over 10.5.
You like the over 10.5. Wow, a lot of runs. Corona picks. You ever mess with these Coors Field totals or what?
Yeah, I haven't really got into that too much. I generally play the overs, but this game, I thought the Rockies were going to get it done yesterday, and I loved the comeback. When they tied it up 8-8, I was down here cheering and just couldn't get it done. So if I was leaning any direction, I would probably lean the Rockies, just because the Mets are kind of junky on the road. But this game I would definitely stay away from. I don't like anything about this game.
All right, got it, man. Jonathan Neese versus Chris Russin. Danny B. What's your thoughts on this?
As a Mets fan, now it's hard for me to say this. I'm not betting the game, but I smell a rat here. I don't like Neese. I'm not a fan of Neese. The Rockies, I don't know. They play better ball at home, obviously, and like Corona said, the Mets are suspect on the road at times. But if anything, if you're telling me I would take the plus 112. What are they? Mets 112. I would take the plus 112 with the Rockies. I hate to say that. I'm not going to bet the game, but if you ask me for my opinion on that, I would say plus 112 Rockies. I don't want it to wind up that way, but I'm just trying to keep it real. Just trying to keep it real with you. I ain't touching. I'm rooting those Mets in. I'm rooting against Washington. I want those friggin' Mets to make the postseason. And I really feel, getting off subject a little bit, all your wild card teams are going to come from the Central, the National League Central.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Cubs, Cardinals. Maybe Pittsburgh overtakes the Cardinals. God knows what's going to happen in the West, National League, San Fran and the Dodgers. Those San Francisco Giants, you can't sleep on them. The Dodgers are struggling. That's why tonight. Yeah. That's why tonight's such a big play, a big game for the Dodgers. They need to win tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but just real quick back to that other game. And look, the thing though is Neese lately has been much better than he's been throughout the year. In his last 7, he's 3-1 with a 3.32. His WHIP is down to 104. So especially in Colorado, if you're not giving up a lot of hits and a lot of guys on base, that's where you get beat, is when you give up a lot of base runners. And Russin has a 1.5 WHIP in his last 7, but 3.79, which is why I do like the over. But I definitely get it. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm not taking a side here. But, of course, we'll see what happens.
All right. Sounds good, guys. And I am going to fall back from that game. I don't like it one bit. So let's go to another playoff aspiration AL wildcard matchup here, which has got me scratching my head because I did not see this series going this particular way. We got the Minnesota Twins coming into the Baltimore Orioles. Minnesota with Kyle Gibson versus Baltimore's Chris Tillman. Baltimore minus 162 with an under-over of 8.5. Guys, I hate to do it, but I say that Baltimore gets the job done today. I am going to start with Corona picks on this. Corona, what do you think of this particular matchup here with Baltimore and Minnesota?
If I got to pick a side on this one, I'm going with the Twins. But and only because it's great value. I don't bet against the Orioles in Camden Yards too often. I mean, they destroy everyone at home. But if you look at sort of the pitcher versus batter matchup here, it's pretty even. The Twins can score. I see this as a coin flip, and if I'm taking anything, I'm taking the plus money, and I'm going with the Twins. I'll likely stay off this game, but if I was going to, that's what I would do. And one quick note that Dr. Dan just said is I think anybody out there who's betting on baseball, WHIP is definitely an underrated stat. I look at the WHIP on pretty much every pitcher I I bet. And if you're not incorporating whip into your kind of daily strategy, then you're really missing out on a big piece of information.
Huge.
Yeah. And guys, what whip is that's the average amount of runners per inning that this pitcher is allowing. So,
walks and hits per innings pitched.
Yes, sir. Danny B, what do you think about these Minnesota Twins and Baltimore Orioles? You think either one of these teams can catch a wild card?
Well, let's look at it. I mean, Baltimore's a half out. Minnesota's 2 games out, chasing Toronto and the Angels. Baltimore lost 2 in a row. It's high line. It's a high line, but I'd have to take Baltimore at home. If I'm betting it, I'm not betting it, but snap the skid. It's not a big skid. They lost 2 in a row. 140 is my limit, really, at home. 130 on the road. Every once in a while, I'll push it to 150. It's just something I practice, and I stay true to it, and it's worked out for me. But if I'm playing this game, I would take Baltimore and Tillman. They're showing at 164, though, so it's creeping up there. It opened at 160 on Scores and Odds anyway.
Yep.
And it's up to 164.
Evil Genius, are you with me or against me with the Baltimore Orioles today?
I can't touch it, man. Tillman's been bad. I mean, he had that one real good start at home against Atlanta, which means Atlanta on the road,
Yep.
And then decent against Oakland, but again, Oakland on the road is not good. And then at Seattle, I mean, he had that game sandwiched in the middle where he only went 2 1/3. He gave up 5 earned.
Yeah.
I gotta stay away from this game. I do lean the Orioles, but I can't put. I'm not putting a bet on it. I mean, Gibson's been really bad as of late. I mean, in his last seven starts, he's 1-3 with a 6.53.
Got it.
So again, this might be another game where you want. I mean, I'm loving a lot of overs today, but this is another one, which you might want to take a look at. It's at 8.5. Kind of interesting. Baltimore is, you give up some runs in Baltimore.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. All right, sounds good. So we got one more that I want to talk about. Now, it's not. I don't even want to say it's a playoff aspiring game here because the Nationals have been just so bad. We got but we got. I think the Evil Genius is licking his chops over this because I see who's on the bump today with the Milwaukee Brewers, bringing in Taylor Jungmann versus Washington's Joe Ross. Washington minus 155 with an under/over of 7 runs. Dr. Dan, that is. Talk to me about the Washington Nationals and the Milwaukee Brewers, kid.
Yeah, so you got Jungmann on the mound for the Brewers and Joe Ross on the bump for the Nasties. And the Nash, I mean, look, I didn't touch the game last night. I really thought that the Nationals were going to bounce back against the Brewers at home. I mean, we have to realize, the Brewers still are, 20 games under 500?
Yep.
I'm all over the Brewers today.
You are all over the Brewers. Wow.
This is the Nationals' death spiral. Look, Joe Ross, he's a young guy. He hasn't, he's been mediocre, though. He's 2-4 with a 3.98 over his last 7 starts. He has walked 8 guys in 40 innings, which is good, and he strikes out a bunch of guys. His whip is low, but his last 2 starts, granted on the road, he gave a 5 spot and a 4 spot. Jungmann, he had that short outing at Chicago, but his last start out, he went 6 1/3, 3 hits, no earned against the Phillies. And you want to say what you want to say, but the Phillies' offense hasn't been bad. His last 7 starts, he's 4-3, but with a 2.06. Look, he doesn't allow a lot of guys on base. You're getting a good value here at plus 140. I just think that Nationals are in their death spiral, and I'm going to ride the Brew Crew today.
Wow, I'm wondering if that's just a little New York Metropolitan fan little influence there going on, Dan.
If you told anybody, if you went back even a month, maybe a month and a half, and said, "Hey, on August 22nd, the Nationals are going to be a game under 500," they would tell you that you're on drugs.
Yes, good point.
I mean, if you look at what they've done lately, it's been bad. And, you have a guy going out there today for them who's a rookie, who's now expected, to be the stopper against another guy who really, I mean, Jungmann, he's pitching, really for a job, for a rotation spot next year. The Brew Crew isn't playing for much, except to be spoilers. And you know how it goes with them. When they get on a little bit of a run, they stay hot for a little bit. Maybe it's the start of that, along with the Nationals being so bad right now. I mean, I just got to do it at plus 140.
All right, sounds good. Corona picks. You think my man, the Evil Genius, is smoking crack over there, or what do you think's going on?
I agree with everything he is saying, but and a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on this just from the vibe on Twitter, but I can't believe right now that the Nationals are just going to give up and die. I mean, I think last time I checked, they were 6 games back from the wild card. I mean, we're talking about the Nationals here.
They're now 10.5 back in the wild card, I think.
Yeah, they got to win the division to get in, probably.
Yeah. They're 10.5 back, yeah.
10.5. See, that's tough.
Now 6 out in the division.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, those are big odds. If you're asking me, I got to go Nationals. I got to believe they got some fight in them left.
I agree.
And they play well at home. They're coming home after. Yeah. That's a horrible game, though. I don't think I'm really going to touch the Nats for the rest of the season much, but if I got to go something, I'm going Nats.
All right, sounds good. Danny B, one thing I want to say before we bring it over to you, because this will be the final game that we break down, but I have noticed something, guys, and I don't, it's a trend, it's a pattern that's been happening quite a bit. I noticed when these teams, have to fly the night before and come to a homestand, it usually takes them a game or two to get going. And that was apparent last night with the Washington Nationals coming from Colorado, the Mile High City, going back home, and then they laid an egg last night.
Well, the altitude change, that does mess with you. Have you ever been to Colorado?
I have not.
Oh, my God. You go there, you tie your shoelaces, you want to pass out.
Really?
It's bad. I mean, you got to adapt to that. And coming back, it's the same thing. So that's a very good point. I mean, especially leaving a place like Colorado. Must win tonight for the Nationals. They're a game under already. Right? I think they got the same record as Arizona at this point. If not close to it.
Yeah, no, that is 100% right.
Yes.
Yeah, so they fell apart. Listen, a month ago on my own show, I said it's going to be hard for the Mets to chase down the Nationals. And remember, the Mets lost that game to the Padres. They were up 8-1 or 7-1 or something like that, and I thought, oh, here we go.
In the
rain.
And
then they coming back and they sweep the Nats.
Yep.
I'm surprised by the Nationals downspin. It's a must-win. As a Mets fan, I'm hoping that they lose. But, today I had mentioned I like the Rockies, if you ask me, and I like the Nationals. I'm looking for the Nationals to pick up a game on the Mets today. I don't want that to happen, but I'd have to say it's a must-win for the Nats tonight. They can't lose any more ground for the Mets. I mean, the Mets are going to start. If they lose another game or two, if 6-7, they're done. They're toast. They got a week till next year.
I agree. I mean, because here's the thing, and I mean, look, I really do like the Brewers today, and if that happens and win or lose for the Mets, so I mean, right now, you're what, six games up. The Nationals are, their schedule isn't that bad. They're home against the Brewers now, and then the Padres, and then the Marlins. But then they have to go on the road to the Cardinals. But, if the Nationals continue this losing streak, the Mets have Neese today on the mound, and then it goes right back to Harvey, DeGrom, and Syndergaard. There's a chance in the next, 3 or 4 days that the Mets could be 7, 8, 9 games up, putting the Nationals completely in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mets definitely have a favorable schedule themselves. My concern as a Mets fan is when they play Philly. I think Philly's going to try to play spoilers.
Yeah.
They depleted their team. I'm concerned that the Mets, so I need the Mets to play well. I need them to come out of Colorado with a sweep, and I'm hoping the Nationals lose, but again, realistically, it's a must-win for them. A little high at 150 something. What did we 151 or so? Yeah, 150.
Yep.
So I'd have to lean on the Nats, and it's hard for me to say that because I don't want them to win, but we're talking real. So, yeah, must win for the Nationals tonight. Although the pitcher from Milwaukee's having a great year. Low ERA, good record. And Milwaukee, I like them on paper to start the year. But now look at them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I like their over number. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. Definitely I think their over number was like 76, and I thought that was going to be as funny as the Royals number of 81. But, look, I don't like, outside of Bryce Harper, and I think Jungmann knows that just stay away from Bryce Harper, and the rest of that lineup is just has not been performing. So that's where I'm going with it.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Sounds good. So what we're going to do, we're already at the 11 o'clock hour. We got a lot of things going on today. We got to get our plays in and do the whole package. So what I'm going to do is, as a courtesy, my boy Corona Picks called in first, so I'm going to be the first. I'm going to let him go first. Corona, what do you got going on today? What do you got to plug? Who you got to shout out? What you got going on, brother?
Okay, do you want me to just give some plays for today?
Yeah, of course. What you got?
Okay, so here's what I got rolling today so far. I mean, I'm going to watch a bit of line moves and stuff, but I like I say, the Royals over 9. I actually like the D-backs today. I think they're always a good team to back right now. They're playing hot. I like the Tigers only because I think the Rangers, I smell a bit of a fishy line there. I looked up all the stats, and when I looked at it last night, they brought the Rangers in at minus 113. I would have brought it in about minus 125 to 130, so I think there's something going on there. So I like Detroit. I like the Cardinals today. I think, I went back through all my stats and looked up everything. And this is kind of a dumb stat to go on sometimes, but I do not see the Padres winning 5 in a row. They're on a bit of a win streak, and I see the Cardinals and Martinez shutting that down today. The only thing I don't like about that is the Padres do hit Martinez fairly well, but I see that coming to an end today. And I hate to say this, I really hate to say this being from Canada, but I kind of like the Angels today. I watched that game last night, and the Blue Jays, on paper, if you glance at the box score, it looks like the Jays just blew them out, but there was a few key, just horrible errors by the Angels that really sort of pushed the momentum in that game, and I don't see that happening tonight. Estrada's a great pitcher, but I kind of like the Angels to win tonight, and their defense is going to be locked up tight, and I think they're going to swing that game. I think it's going to be under, but I think it's going to be like a 4-2 game for the Angels. So, as for shout-outs, I don't have too much. I didn't really write anything down. I don't want to miss anybody, so I'll just shout out the whole Mad Picks crew, and that's all I got.
All right, sounds good, Corona. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Guys, go follow my boy Corona Picks and the Mad Picks crew. They've been with us since day one, and we always appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You bet. Hey, everything I post is free. I don't sell any plays, so I post it all on my Corona Picks account. So, give me a follow, and you'll see what I'm up to every day. All
right, sounds good, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, brother.
My man, Danny B. So you got you got a radio program going on right now, man. So, what you got? What you got to close out?
I got like 8 different shows going on, different markets: L.A., Phoenix, Miami, all over the place. What I like today, Corona made some good points there. I like the Angels to bounce back. I like the Cardinals to bounce back. I already told you how I feel about the Dodgers tonight. And I can even live with his Tiger pick, to be honest with you. So I would have to say definitely Dodgers and Angels. I agree with him on the Cardinals and the Tigers. He already put that out there. I'll co-sign his work, Cardinals and Tigers. My own work, I'd have to lean on. I'm in a West Coast state of mind, man. I'm going Dodgers and Angels today.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good, man. So, Danny, I'm going to be probably trying to reach out to you during the week. You and I will have a phone conversation. I got some questions to pick your brain about, if you don't mind. I always love talking to you on the phone, and I've been talking to you since day one as well, brother.
Well, listen, I told you guys I'll help you in any way. You guys know what you're doing now. You're on to something special. I just wish you guys a lot of luck. I wish I had the time to dedicate. I'm sure you guys got other things going on in your life, so it's a big commitment, what you guys are doing. And I think that you keep doing what you're doing, good things will come your way. You can call me anytime. I'll help you out any way possible. Radio that I do is totally different. You've dabbled with a little bit of live radio, correct?
Yes.
All right, and that's a good experience. Problem on weekend radio is you can't do a live show. You got to pre-record for the stations, especially since there are many cities. They download it, so we're not in a position to do live radio on the weekends. They don't offer it.
Got it.
Especially during certain hours. But you guys keep doing what you're doing. Anything I can help you with, just feel free to buzz me. And You know, radio's changing. Internet is the way to go, man. I've seen the difference over the years. Fortunately for me, all my years and the followers on radio, it helps me stay afloat, but it's definitely changing. You guys keep doing what you're doing, do your podcast, dabble in radio, but this is good stuff.
All right, sounds good, man. Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate it.
Nah, thank you guys.
I'll be in touch.
I love it.
I'll be in touch during the week.
Fellas.
Good luck.
Thanks
good luck
for having
today.
me, Dan. Thanks for having me, Rob, and everybody out there. Have a good day.
All right, brother. Take care.
Brother.
Take care, guys.
All
Bye.
right. Dr. Dan, the evil genius of Major League Baseball. So we got a lot of games, dude. And I'm sure you got probably a 10-pack of plays today.
Right now I have an 8-pack, but I might turn that into a 10-pack because I'm kind of liking the -1.5% adjusted lines that are going to be coming out.
Adjusted lines. Wow. Oh, man.
You know, like I said, I'm going to take the Brewers -1.5. I might get like +300 on that.
Brewers -1.5. Wow. Okay. So, all right. And what else you got going on, brother? Because we're getting ready to close this thing out.
I'm going to roll the Diamondbacks at +112. I got that Braves Cubs over 9, the Royals Red Sox over 9, the Brew Crew at +137, the Twins O's over 8.5, the Giants at +148, and I got to take my man Sonny Gray in the Oakland Athletics at -134.
Oh.
And I'm also considering the under in that game, but I haven't made up my mind yet.
Wow, dude. You know what, Dan? I didn't even see that one because that's a nasty game. Dude, Sonny Gray -135 versus the nasty Tampa Bay Rays?
Yeah, I know.
Why is that so low?
I think it's because, Erasmo Ramirez is on the bump for the Rays, and he hasn't been bad at all. I mean, he has a 3.57, but he's 10-4.
Oh.
But dude, Sonny Gray is 12-5 with a 2.04.
I know.
It's one of my favorite plays. I'm also rolling them on the run line.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm rolling the A's on the run line because they do score runs at home. And with Sonny Gray on the mound, I mean, -1.5 is +160.
Wow. All right, man. So, hey, feel free to go with that, dude. So, I really like Sonny Gray with you. Sonny Gray's been lights out at home.
Yeah.
All right.
If the Rays don't hit the ball.
Unbelievable. All right, man. Sounds good. Yeah, I think we're going to get involved in that, Dan. So what I'm looking at, man, is I am looking at Zach Greinke to get the job done versus the Houston Astros, even though the LA Dodgers are sub-500 on the road, winning 43% of their games. I get it. But anytime you get Zach Greinke minus anything less than -150, guys, I have no choice. I have to do it. It's not going to be a big play, but that's definitely something I'm taking a look at. Like the Oakland A's today with you, Dan, and I am looking at the Baltimore Orioles, and I hate to do it to you. I got to go against you with the Washington Nationals. I have to. I have to.
Feel free, man. I would tread lightly. I mean, the National look. Hey, I don't know, man. I think. I mean, you got Youngman on the mound who's been lights out. This is not a homer pick. If I felt the Nationals were good, I would say that. I might not throw money on them. But I don't know, man. But the other thing that I kind of like is if you really like Greinke today, and you really like Sonny Gray today, if you pair those two up, that's at +218.
218. Wow.
218 for a Greinke Gray parlay.
And you could probably get an idea what's going to go on in the LA Dodgers bullpen stinks.
That's the thing. And they got no hit last night.
So maybe we go first 5 with them, and then we pair that with Oakland.
You could do that.
Yeah, that's probably better.
But, the Dodgers also have had plenty of, late inning comebacks. I just think if you like it for the game, you pair it up at +218. I think it's pretty good if you like that. I mean, we'll see where it goes, but hey, just stay away from the Cubs today.
Stay away from the Cubs. All right, man. So, that sounds like a pretty good parlay because you can actually get an idea what's going to happen. Because that game's going to be 2 hours in the Dodger game going into Tampa Bay and Oakland at 9:05.
Right,
so,
right.
All right,
So.
cool deal. Cool deal. Dr. Dan, the Evil Genius, what do you got to do to close out of here, brother?
Yeah, so again, guys, just DM me at Dr. Dan Evil Genius. You can also email me there at Gmail, Dr. Dan Evil Genius at Gmail. If you want to get into the Fantasy Football League, I think we already have 5 of the spots confirmed. I'm waiting on a couple other guys that had shown interest, so it's going to fill up quick, guys. Remember, it's $275. Everything's in PayPal. Just send me your email address, the email address you want to use for this, and I will send you the invites right away. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, guys. We are the SBTV Nation, having an absolute blast 7 days a week. Myself and the Evil Genius will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. live on air to rock and roll this thing and go from there. We love you to death. Go out there. Go easy. Do your own homework. Bet your own plays. Make all your dreams a reality and get that money. Take care.
Peace.